Hello, and welcome to the latest Personal Care Global webinar. My name is Tim Probert, and I'm the editor of Personal Care. Today's presentation is from P2 Science. P2 Science is a US-based company established in 2011 as a spin-out of Yale University. P2 Science was founded with the simple vision to develop high-performance, innovative ingredients that align with planetary health. P2's headquarters, along with its own R&D applications lab and manufacturing site, are located in Connecticut. Since 2011, it has become a global leader in bringing naturally derived, sustainable ingredients to market, partnering with brands and manufacturers in 25 countries. Today, P2's award-winning Citropol portfolio of sustainable polymeric emollients can be found in leading beauty brands around the world. Today's presentation will be given by Kate Drummond and Ashley Oblon. Kate Drummond is P2 Science's Vice President of Marketing and Business Development, leading the marketing strategy and execution for Citropol polymeric emollients for beauty, as well as identifying new applications for this novel polymer in other markets. Having spent 9 years at BASF in a variety of roles and industries, most recently head of marketing for North America Personal Care, Kate brings a strong background in innovation management, product launch, and strategy. Ashley Oblon is P2's Applications Lab Manager. A formulation chemist with 6 years of experience in the personal care industry, Ashley has cultivated a deep understanding of choosing the right raw materials to impart specific benefits while staying up to date with market trends to innovate and meet consumer demands. Today's webinar will discuss P2 Science's cutting-edge emollient ingredients, Citropol DE4 and Citropol V6, as well as key consumer trends driving the growth of sustainable beauty, including clinical formulas and unique textures. There are 2 handouts to go with this webinar, Citropol formulation prototypes and a P2 product portfolio. These can be found under the Files icon to the right of your screen. Joining us later for the live Q&A session will be Patrick Foley, the president and co-founder of P2 Science. The Q&A session takes place immediately after the presentation, so don't delay in submitting your questions via the GoToWebinar questions text box. Over to you, Kate.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really pleased to have you here so we can share a little bit more about our 2 new product launches, Citropol DE4 and Citropol V6, the 2 newest products in the Citropol family powered by green chemistry. And these 2 products are all wrapped up in a great concept we're calling Feel Good. It's all about today's trends and some amazing prototypes that you'll definitely want to touch and feel. So let's jump in. So we'll talk a little bit about P2 Science. We are a leader in green chemistry and our Citropol product family, the Feel Good concept, which will highlight key beauty movements that fit into our green chemistry technology. We'll give an overview of our 2 new Citropol ingredients, highlighting the features and benefits of these products and their applications. And then we'll really dive deep into hair care and share some amazing new data we've generated with Citropol DE4 and Citropol V6, specifically for curly hair. So we've already been introduced, but today our speakers are our co-founder and president, Patrick Foley. I'm Kate Drummond. I'm the VP of Marketing and Business Development at P2 Science. And we have Ashley Oblon, our Applications Lab Manager. You say hi, Ashley?
Hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today.
Awesome. So let's dive in. So who is P2 Science? We are a leader in green chemistry and process innovation. We were founded by one of the co-founders of the green chemistry movement, Paul Anastas, out of Yale University. And our whole company is designed around the 12 principles of green chemistry, which prioritize planetary and human health from start to finish. And we design ingredients for consumer goods. And specifically for today's audience, we have a portfolio of next-gen ingredients for beauty. They replace undesired chemistries like silicones or PFAS. They're really new to the world, new to the market chemistries, and not only are they replacing undesired chemistries, but they really take performance to the next level. And in addition to our amazing process innovation and ingredient innovation, we have a really fantastic applications team. We offer robust formulation and technical support. And we are excited to share with you a couple of the formulations developed today to support our 2 new product launches. And additionally, we are proud to say that we've been recognized by the industry in a number of different awards, recognizing our innovation and our ingredients. We have here the Pure Beauty Awards up here where last year P2 and one of our brand partners was awarded gold for a hairstyling product that featured P2 technology. So innovation and sustainability are what we're all about, and we're excited to share a little bit more with you today about that. So our Citropol line of polymeric emollients has been created with the power of green chemistry, from the feedstock to the process to its biodegradability at end of life. We are intentional about our raw material sourcing, and the primary raw material for Citropol products is refined terpenes extracted from byproducts of the pulp and paper industry in the US. Those terpenes are then transformed using our proprietary first of its kind process we call PICE, which is Process Intensified Continuous Esterification. This process truly embodies the 12 principles of green chemistry. It is a continuous flow process, solvent-free, operates at ambient temperatures, produces no waste, it's safe, and the low energy process is safer for operators and consumers who use the end products that we make and the environment. And finally, the polycitronellol molecule, as you can see on the slide, represents a new class of polymeric emollients for beauty. It is structurally similar to a silicone molecule, making the sensory near identical. However, Citropol products are bio-based and biodegradable, unlike silicones. So now let's jump into the feel good concept. So feel good is the perfect union of heart, mind, and body. It's a story of beauty that cares for the planet, is backed by science, and enhances the sensory experience of beauty products. Feel good isn't just about how your products perform, it's about making choices that align with consumer demands for conscious beauty and sensory excellence. So you might imagine that the feel good concept has a double meaning. It's about feeling good both at an emotional and a physical level. P2 products and green chemistry generally are a perfect fit for beauty consumers' demands. And we've got 3 elements of feel good that really encapsulate what our products are all about and what consumers are looking for today. So sustainable performers is all about ingredients that you can feel good about, naturally derived, sustainable practices, supply chain transparency, and more. And there's no compromise here between naturality and performance. Science Core is ingredient-led beauty that highlights new ingredients that are worth telling stories about, powered by new technologies like green chemistry and biotech. And finally, Sensory for self-care is all about creating beauty products that transcend into an elevated sensory experience that build on a product story, from thick, luxurious textures with long-lasting comfort to light and airy textures for fast-drying products. And beauty is really an integral aspect of consumers' lives. It's tied to self-care rituals, it's tied to wellness, conscious and sustainable living, and more. So delivering feel-good beauty products that unify the heart, mind, and body starts with feel-good ingredients. So our first element of feel-good is sustainable performers. So for more than a decade, natural beauty products have been on an upward trajectory, and those products are often associated with safety. Green is a key driver for consumers, and so sustainability and sustainability claims continue to be important aspects of beauty products. Consumers are committing to living more sustainable lifestyles, which transcends into their beauty choices. At the same time, sustainable ingredients are expected to perform at the same or better than their traditional counterparts. And here's where we meet sustainable performers at the cross-section of naturality and efficacy. So as formulators look to replace problematic chemistries, including silicones, which are there for sensory purposes, you can look to advanced natural technologies ingredients like the Citropol products to replace those unfavorable chemistries. And we've got some really compelling statistics here, including that 95% of all consumers say they are trying to take some action to live more sustainably, according to Nielsen. And what easier way to do that than through your beauty routine? Next, when we talk about our science core, this is all about the new generation of ingredient-savvy beauty consumers. So those who are knowledgeable about the ingredients in their beauty products, who actively search and research specific ingredients, and really crave the science and understanding of how their products work. SciComm, or science communication, is a new category of influencers, typically who are formulation chemists, who are helping consumers translate the studies, ingredients, and claims found on their product labels. So there's a great opportunity here for really science-driven products and materials, like those derived from green chemistry. And these are ingredient stories that brands can tell to help differentiate their products on the shelves and in the minds of consumers. You can highlight the source, the impact of cutting-edge technology behind. So with more knowledge of ingredients, consumers are really looking for specific stories, specific technology that's tailored to their individual needs. And again, some amazing stats here to support this, but one I like to highlight is that 50% plus of Gen Z look closely at the ingredients in their beauty and personal care products before making a decision. It's a pretty high number. And finally, we have our sensory for self-care. And before the pandemic, skincare, wellness, self-care, mental health, all of it were on the rise, but we really just saw that accelerate and explode. And self-care today can be anywhere and everywhere. It can be available in small, accessible luxuries that can be used throughout the day. And skincare is such an important tie to self-care and wellness. And so creating products that tap into the senses, specifically texture and smell, can transcend a product into an experience and a routine into a ritual, encouraging repeated use. And texture is an important way to tell that story better. The feeling of a product is linked to the claims. For example, a day serum may be lightweight and fast drying, while a deep hydrating mask or lotion is expected to have a thick and rich texture. And you know, we all understand how important those routines and rituals are. And again, another really interesting statistic here, that women spend an average of 22 minutes per day on their daily skincare routine. So, you know, I know that that's me sometimes. And finally, let's bring the elements of Feel Good to life by introducing our two new products, Citropol DE4 and Citropol V6. Innovative, eco-forward ingredients designed to enhance the sensory experience of beauty products, including hair care, skincare, color cosmetics, and more. Citropol DE4 is a multifunctional, high molecular weight, liquid polymeric emollient for rich and luxurious textures. Citropol DE4 has been uniquely designed to improve the feel of alkanes efficiently, and Citropol DE4 really elevates the sensory experience of any formulation. There's really unique conditioning benefits for skincare and hair care, and we've identified that it is truly ideal for textured and curly hair. So with Citropol DE4, you can create rich and luxurious textures. The product is natural and is bio-based, biodegradable, eco-friendly, and really versatile across a variety of beauty segments and applications. One of the really fantastic things about our two new products is that they are registered in China, so available for use in China today. And according to our biopreferred testing, this is 99% natural, according to the USDA biopreferred testing. And we have our biodegradability testing in process, and it's expected to be inherently biodegradable. So now Ashley's going to talk through one of our sensory experiments that we conducted with Citropol DE4.
Okay, so thank you, Kate. So to evaluate how Citropol DE4 can enhance and elevate the sensorial experience of natural-based silicone replacements, we conducted a panelist evaluation to explore how our ingredient improves the formula. A common replacement we see for silicones is the use of alkanes, but using alkanes alone isn't enough to replicate the sensorial benefits a customer is used to experiencing. So our panelists were asked to evaluate 3 formulas, one containing only dodecaine, another containing dodecaine and Citropol DE4 at a 5% loading, and lastly a formula with dodecaine and Citropol DE4 at 10%. The study was able to reveal that there was a 100% panelist preference towards a formula containing DE4. They felt that the cream had a more luxurious and velvety texture, there was less tackiness, there was an increase in the glowy effect on the skin, and there was an improvement in the skin smoothness and hydration. So by incorporating Citropol DE4 into your cream and lotion formulations, this will greatly enhance the consumer experience. During application, all participants preferred a formula containing Citropol DE4. So right after application, we note that for numerous tactile properties, formulas containing Citropol DE4 outperformed the alkane only containing formula. The panelists were also asked to evaluate how the lotion felt on their skin after 30 minutes of application. Panelists reported that Citropol DE4 aided in the lotion leaving their skin more luxurious and hydrated, that their skin felt very smooth to the touch, it left their skin feeling velvety, and had less tack than the alkane-only formula. So overall, Citropol DE4 is an excellent ingredient to elevate and enhance your formulation.
Amazing. Thank you, Ashley. So let's jump into Citropol V6, which is an advanced emollient blend that creates light as water, soft as silk textures. And it's been crafted to replace cyclomethicones. That really mimics the feel of cyclomethicones. And you can see it is a blend with Citropol DE4 and specifically chosen responsibly sourced alkanes. So this balances volatility with a long-lasting conditioning feel. And so we developed Citropol V6 to create an easy-to-use pre-formulated solution for formulators to really mimic that cyclomethicone feel, to get the right balance of that heavier Citropol DE4 with a lighter weight natural emollient. So again, Citropol V6, just like all of the rest of the Citropol portfolio, like Citropol DE4, is applicable across segments and formats. Really multifunctional product. You can create beautiful weightless textures, very easy to incorporate, great spreadability. Like Citropol DE4, it is registered in China, 100% natural according to USDA biopreferred, and expected to be inherently biodegradable. So as we said, DE4 and V6 are multifunctional ingredients, just like the rest of our portfolio. We have developed prototype formulations across color cosmetics, skincare, body care, and hair care. And so we really encourage you to go to our landing page for the Feel Good concept at p2science.com/feelgood and check out all the content that we have there. But today in the webinar, we're just going to specifically focus on hair care. So let's dive into our hair care formulations and data. So today we know that beauty consumers across the world really are still looking for clean and free from claims in their hair care products. And so over the last 10 years, according to Mintel GNPD data, we see the number of silicone-free hair care launches continue to grow, a 429% increase in the last 10 years. And in the last 4 years alone, a 31% increase. So this claim is not going anywhere, it's only growing. And at the same time, you know, we talked about how DE4 is great at modifying that texture of alkane-based formulas. We do see a 57% increase in alkane usage among global hair care launches, which is to be expected. It's a widely available natural emollient that can be an alternative to silicone, but still does have some drawbacks from the sensory perspective. So we're really highlighting here some key consumer claims in hair care, especially among US consumers, including frizz, dryness, split ends, all of which we can tackle with Citropol DE4 and V6. And so we're going to go into our first consumer study that we ran with a conditioner. So Ashley's going to walk us through that.
Great. So to assess the performance of Citropol DE4 in a hair care formula, a head-to-head conditioning evaluation was conducted with 15 panelists. They tested two conditioners, one containing Citropol DE4 at 5% and the other contained silicone 1000 at 5%. The panelists evaluated a range of sensory factors during and immediately after application. The panelist group represented hair types from type 1 all the way to type 6. Notably, all panelists with type 4 hair and above preferred the conditioner with Citropol DE4. Across all hair types, Citropol DE4 was consistently rated higher for key sensorial qualities typically associated with a premium hair conditioner. So the applications team also wanted to showcase the effectiveness of emollients in enhancing conditioning and detangling properties for curly hair. So we conducted wet combing studies on type 5 hair using the same conditioners from the panelist evaluation. On the left, the data shows that Citropol DE4 reduces the total work by 45% and outperforms the silicone 1000 with a 7% improvement in reducing combing forces. So this results in hair that feels significantly more conditioned. Then on the right-hand side, Citropol DE4 demonstrates a 58% reduction in peak load. This indicates a substantial improvement in the detangling process during hair combing. We also wanted to explore how Citropol DE4 could enhance formulations for textured hair, so this led us to develop the Citrolux Curl Collection. So consumers with textured hair often express that when their hair looks good, they feel good. However, finding the right regimen that effectively addresses their specific hair concerns can be a challenge. So we developed a hair care regimen specifically designed for curly hair, which addresses the key issues such as curl definition, conditioning, and shine. The Citrolux Curl Collection includes 5 products, each designed to work together or individually to achieve beautifully defined and luscious curls. So the first 4 products in the lineup, designed for cleansing and curl styling and curl activation, incorporate Citropol DE4 at varying use levels to help you achieve stunning curls. Additionally, silicone-free hair oil is suitable for all hair types and features Citropol V6. This effectively refreshes hair, tames frizz, and keeps it conditioned between washes. So let's visually explore how well these products work together. So we conducted a half-head study to visually evaluate the performance of the Citrolux Curl Collection. So after rinsing the mannequin's hair with water, it was divided into 2 sections. One section was left to air dry naturally, while the other was treated with the first 4 products from the Citrolux collection. And then this was also allowed to air dry. The observations were made at 0, 24, and 48 hours to assess how the curls dried. At the end of the 48-hour mark, we applied the daily luminous oil to refresh the curls. The results show that the Citrolux line left the hair looking beautifully defined and shiny. So while Citropol DE4 and Citropol V6 are exceptional ingredients for hair care, they're just a part of our extensive portfolio specifically designed for the hair care market.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ashley. Some really compelling data there, especially for curly hair. So we wanted to make sure everybody on the call knew that we've got a full portfolio of products that we've got excellent claims data for hair care, including Citropol H, which is really our all-around multifunctional hair care polymer. We've got claims data around heat damage protection, frizz reduction, combing force reduction, you name it. It's just a really fantastic product for hair care. Additionally, we have Citrocomplex Hair, which is a fusion of our Citropol technology plus specifically chosen nourishing hair-loving oils that condition, detangle, and deliver really radiant shine and great hydration. And then finally, Citropol V5 is a lightweight, volatile emollient that really gives a luxurious, lightweight feel. We've got great data on heat damage protection and less buildup. So with all of our Citropol products together and all the data that we've generated, we can deliver 7 key consumer claims for your hair care products, including frizz reduction, conditioning, damage prevention, heat protection, curl definition, shine, and less buildup. And so if you'd like to navigate our Citropol portfolio, we've got a portfolio of pure molecules, including Citropol 1A, HA, F, H, and DE4 that range from light to heavier viscosities for different functions and purposes. And highlighting here Citropol F, which is our natural fragrance enhancer. We've also got our formulated solutions, including Citropol V5 and Citropol V6, which we talked about today. So this family of emollients are all plant-based, derived from upcycled terpenes. They're biorenewable, biocompatible, biodegradable, clean manufacturing process. They're super versatile, non-greasy, you get a silicone-like feel, really just excellent high-performing polymeric emollients. So in addition to our pure molecules, we have a variety of blends. Please explore them on our website, including our Citravisc series, our Citralatum series, and our Citrasperse series, pigment dispersions. So with that, thank you so much for your time today, wherever you are in the world. We really appreciate you joining us. We're happy to answer any questions you might have about our 2 new product launches or P2 Science. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kate and Ashley. Okay, so we are now going to begin the questions. We have the first question we have is from Perminda Gill, who asks, are Citropol DE4 and V6 Cosmos approved? Are they Cosmos approved? Who'd like to answer that?
Sorry, I'm off mute, right? Yeah, okay. Hi, thanks for the question. At this point, not yet on Cosmos. Yeah.
Okay, not yet, but coming, pending, presumably soon. Okay. Vivek Patel asks, is the Citropol V6 supposed to be a natural alternative to the D6 cyclomethicone? Also, what types of instrumental evaluations are conducted from P2 when comparing the Citropol emollient performance in terms of texture, sensory for skin and color-based applications? That's sort of 2 questions really, but is it meant to be a natural alternative to D6?
Yeah, so maybe I'll start and then would ask, Pat, Ashley, please jump in on the technical evaluation side. But yes, it's designed to really mimic the feel of a D5, D6 in that range, and to be a natural alternative. So, and we have some testing in process on comparing the sensory. So, Ashley or Pat, if you want to jump in and share a little more about that.
Ashley?
Sure. So kind of just like how Kate summarized, they really are both, I wouldn't call them 100% one-to-ones, but they really add great textures to your formulations while still, maintaining the silicone-free clean that we go for. They're very biodegradable and biorenewable. So I just think they're really great additions, and I think they sometimes outperform the cyclomethicones out on the market right now.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, we certainly want to provide a really competitive alternative to people that are trying to move away from the cyclomethicones. But we also want to highlight the differentiated performance that these unique offerings can provide.
Okay. So sorry, the second part of it from Vivek was what types of instrumental evaluations are conducted when comparing Citropol emollient performance?
So on the instrumental side so far, we've just started kind of exploring the range of comparison claims that we can generate. So we've been doing some initial sensory comparisons with a panel to determine preferences for V6 versus a formulation containing a cyclomethicone, and the initial data that we're getting back is very positive in favor of a V6 in a skincare formulation. So I'll preview here that we have a part 2 of our concept coming up. You can expect early next year, where a lot of this data is going to be included. So stay tuned.
Okay, thank you. There's a question here from Laura. She says, what are the differences between V5 and V6? What I think Laura may mean as DE4 and V6. It's a V6 is a blend of DE4 plus something else. I think you did mention that, but could you explain a bit further what V6 actually is?
Yeah, sure. So we do have, so maybe there is a question about our current product offer V5, and our new product offer V6. Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't know, Pat, maybe you
Sure,
helped
yeah,
create
happily.
both the
So
products. Take the question.
both of those products are design blends to access that the desired profile that includes volatility, but also the residual conditioning effect that is very sought after on the skin. And so V6 and V5 are different blends of a Citropol and a lighter, more volatile alkane phase. And while there is a lot of overlap in terms of the way they feel, they do have unique attributes individually. The V5 is based on our 1A chemistry. It's a slightly lower molecular weight polymer, and it's used at a higher loading, and so you get a little different residual feel on the skin when you're using it. Whereas the V6 has a higher molecular weight, heavier silicone that's used at a slightly lower loading in the blend, and so you have more volatile phase, but you do have a meaningful skin feel and residual that is very desirable. And so they demonstrate kind of two different Citropols within our catalog in a blend format that's designed to get at that cyclomethicone type feel. And one kind of unique and probably relevant differentiating feature for everybody here today is that the V6 is globally compliant.
Okay. Okay, that's great answer. Thank you, Patrick. Michael Eugene Parangao asks, is it useful for sunscreens? Can they be used in sunscreen?
We think so, but it's not data that we have so far internally. Pat, if you want to share any background or detail on any testing that's been conducted.
Yeah, sure. So the entire Citropol series for sure is fantastic in sunscreen. One of the unique attributes with regard to the Citropol series is that they are fantastic at wetting pigments and dispersing them. And so with any mineral format that you're going to use in sun care, it's going to be a great go-to ingredient to help solubilize and stabilize any formula. The sensory that you get from this these offerings are going to offset that kind of grittiness that sometimes you get in some of those high loading mineral pigments. And so I'd say for mineral sunscreens, I encourage everybody to look at these ingredients and incorporate them into chassis and formulas looking forward. And with regard to the non-mineral pigments, of course, all of these are 100% compatible with all of the sun filters. And I think that you'll find that the sensory speaks for themselves. So the short answer is yes. The long answer is we believe that they're going to play a meaningful role in this space for all of the reasons I just mentioned.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Pat, again. Another question here now. Now, latest one is from Florencia Flori Augusta. Are these new emollients halal approved? Are they halal approved?
I will say they are not yet, but that's something that we certainly can get online. They are halal at this point. I mean, sorry,
Okay,
kosher.
Good. Kosher. Yep. Thank you. Thanks. Next question. Lockman Tatar. You say the V6 is volatile. Should it be added at the end of the formulation, or can it be heat resistant? Should it be added at the end of the formulation? Mm-hmm.
So you can actually add it in your heated oil phase. So we know when we do a lot of formulas, our phases can go from 80 degrees C to up to 100 degrees C. It is 100% safe to add at those heated levels.
Okay, lovely. Okay, next question from Harumi Suzuki. Is it possible to use these ingredients as defoaming agents, anti-foaming agents, instead of silicone in toner or cream formulations? Can you use the Citropol as defoaming or anti-foaming agents instead of silicones in toner or cream formulations?
So I'll answer, but I'll also would love to hear from Ashley and her perspective. So we've looked at this with our Citropol series more generally. Kate mentioned in the presentation this similar architecture to our polymers versus lots of the silicone-based polymers. And so there's a a reason to believe that you would see a very similar defoaming effect that you see in silicones. And we have seen a significant defoaming effect with regard to our products. That said, this is one area where we have to cede a little bit of ground to the silicones. They are still best in class in terms of that specific effect. But our ingredients are far superior to alkanes and esters in terms of defoaming. And so it still remains a very strong option if you're looking to tackle that particular white foaming in lotion. And Ashley, I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah, so exactly. So in the study we mentioned today for the DE4 low cream panel list, we definitely noticed that in both creams there is no foaming. So I can say just from a formulation standpoint, when you incorporate a lot of our Citropol portfolio products, you tend to not experience that foaming that a lot of people get when creating foam creams and lotions, I should say.
Okay, good. Thank you, Ashley. Next question is from Sydney Sakamoto. What is a safe ratio of Citropol F to essential oil? What is a safe ratio of Citropol to essential oil?
So the Citropol F can be used up to very high ratios, but typically we don't recommend over a 10% usage level unless it's a very concentrated fragrance package, for example, a fine fragrance. If you're adding it to an essential oil, as you suggest, the 2 to 5% range is something that we'd recommend you starting with a follow-up recommendation to do a little bit of dosing to make sure that everything's well balanced. You begin to see a meaningful effect with Citropol F at as low of a dose as 0.5% though.
Okay. Thank you. Question from Rhonda Davis now. I think you touched on this before, but which is lighter, V5 or V6? I think you did mention this, but would you like to answer that one from Rhonda?
So it's a little bit subjective, and and I'll let Ashley offer her perspective because I feel like she has a more expert touch than me. But my answer would be that the V6 is lighter on rub-in, but a little heavier on residue, whereas the opposite is true with the V5.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Okay, good.
I think we're both in line with that one.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't have a different view on this controversial subject, Kate? Which is lighter?
No, I'll let the technical experts take that one. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Okay, this follow-up from Rhonda. Which Citropol can be used as a fragrance enhancer? Which Citropol can be used as a fragrance enhancer?
Citropol F.
Okay. Another question for Florencia.
I'll just add on to that we do have a lot of data to demonstrate the efficacy of F. So it's not just anecdotal. It's really demonstrated with instrumentation. So happy to share that information with anybody that's interested in learning more about Citropol F.
Okay, thank you. I'll skip to James Fox here. Are the Citropols used outside of hair and cosmetic care to impart lubricity where dimethicones find their niche?
I'd say that we do have customers and partners working in applications outside of cosmetics and personal care in areas like home care and air care. We expect there to be a lot more activity in those adjacent type spaces into the future, but primarily the way our portfolio is positioned is focused on clean beauty.
Okay, thank you. Rogerio Arida asks, is DE4 readily biodegradable? Is it readily biodegradable?
So we don't expect the DE4 to be readily biodegradable, but rather inherently biodegradable, and that's just an effect of the way the OECD tests are run. That you'll see that with hydrophobic materials in general, you'll get a full biodegradation, but over more than 28 days.
Okay. I have a question. I hear a lot from companies like yourselves that make ingredients for cosmetics, and one of the things I always worry about is influencers, and it keeps them up at night. There's a lot of misinformation. Would you say that Citropol are influencer-proof ingredients? Would you like to talk more of that?
I'll leave that one to Kate. What do you think?
Influencer-proof. I don't know.
Are they? Are we? Well, because silicones have a bad reputation. Let's be honest. Are you? How does it? There should be less of a worry that type of thing with these Citropol ingredients. Would you say?
That we might get some sort of negative attention, I guess, is the question.
You should get you should get less. You should. It should be more positive than negative.
I mean, we mentioned it in the presentation, but really the founding philosophy, the founding principles of P2 are the 12 principles of green chemistry, and really Pat is the expert to speak on that. But I mean, I think we every day wake up trying to make products that are safer for people, for operators, for the planet, and that's our goal, and I think we've done that with the Citropol line. But Pat, if you want to share any more.
Yeah,
well,
Pat, if you want to go,
I'd welcome conversations with all influencers, because we love to tell our story and to communicate everything that we're doing with as much transparency as we possibly can, because we're really proud of it. To your point, I don't know about how negative news cycles come up, but I'd like to think that it'd be pretty tough to stick anything on us, because we're very intentional about what we do.
Yeah, very good. And as Kate says, you talked about the 12 principles of green chemistry. How are they applied with these products?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can think about the products, in a more holistic level, right? Like, where do we source all of the raw materials from? How do we actually take those raw materials and process them through chemical transformations to make these end-use products? And I mean, if you think about it on that holistic level, we're certainly, adhering to the principles in terms of we're preventing pollution by using, by defossilizing these processes and using clean, low waste conversions. It's 100% atom economy. It's a totally non-hazardous synthesis. It's solvent-free. It's done at ambient temperature and pressure, so it's low energy. Again, uses renewable feedstocks. It's catalytic, biodegradable. There's real-time monitoring. And I guess we designed everything for accident prevention at our plant, at the plant level, and that's all 12 principles of green chemistry right there. And I think that focusing on those principles from the very beginning allows us a much better outcome that's much more aligned with the philosophy of green chemistry in the end.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Pat. And we've got a message here from Parisa Murdoch, who says, I've seen influencers supporting P2 on TikTok and Instagram, for example, Glow by Ramon. So there we are. That's good. Okay, the next questions we've had in. Next one is from Gilles Genan. What is the substitution coefficient between D4 or D6 with these offerings? What is the substitution coefficient with D4 and
Ashley,
D6?
would you offer any guidance there as to where to start with substitution ratios when you're trying to?
When it comes to formulation, at least, I like to kind of half the addition of a Citropol versus your silicone present in the formula, just because I tend to experience a lot that the Citropols give so much more without needing to match the same exact level, which is really great. So I would definitely say if you have, like, let's say a silicone at a 2% level, you can start lower at about 1%, and then you can work your way back up just to get those same sensorial benefits that you were experiencing in your original product.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thanks, Ashley. A couple more questions. Florencia again asks, can V6 also be used as anti-frizz and improving hair moisture in hair care applications?
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. What we've seen in the lab and in our testing, absolutely. I love a product that Ashley developed. It's a hair oil that I actually use every day for definition and frizz control.
And just as a rule of thumb with the Citropol series in general, we have looked at frizz reduction, and silicone has historically been the best in class with regard to frizz reduction until the Citropol series. And so the findings that we've had is that it performs at parity, if not a little better than silicones in frizz reduction.
Excellent. Okay, so the final question we've got is from an Ankita Merchandani. What properties does Citropol F have that make it not heavy on the hair? What properties does Citropol F have that make it not heavy?
So the Citropol F in particular, just as a reminder, is the fragrance enhancer ingredient. And so that is going to be used in a formulation with a slightly different intention. That said, it's a light polymeric emollient that can be used in hair care compositions to great effect. And I think I guess that remind me of the question, what makes it light in the hair? Is that?
Not heavy yet. Yeah. What
Not
makes it
heavy
light?
in the hair. And I think that because of its molecular weight, it's not our highest molecular weight offering. If you were looking for something heavier, you could look at something like HA or the DE4. But the deposition of the medium molecular weight polymer is going to give you some noticeable weight and conditioning on the hair. So you're going to have that barrier and protective effect, but it's not going to be so heavy that just based on molecular weight and the size of the molecule that you're not going to see it weigh down your hair.
Okay, very good. Okay, well, that's all the time we have for questions today. Is there anything more you'd like to add, Kate, Ashley, or Pat?
Just want to really thank everybody for joining today and the great questions, really detailed questions. So appreciate your engagement and your questions there. But Ashley and I said a lot during the presentation, so I'll offer Patrick the opportunity if you want to say a closing word.
I just wanted to echo that. Thanks so much for the opportunity to talk about these new ingredients that we're launching, the DE4 V6. You know, we're very proud of our entire catalog, so we encourage you to try all of our ingredients. The DE4 and V6 really was born of customer conversations and feedback to deliver on performance attributes that we knew our customers and partners wanted. And so it's really been gratifying to go back into the lab, work with the team, realize these new ingredients and deliver on all of those goals that we've talked about, including, you know, with DE4, with that extra kind of conditioning and that weight and feel and especially for textured hair, it's fantastic. The V6, figuring out that that profile of sensory, but also volatility that everybody seeks when they're looking at the cyclic methicones, but finding a beautiful alternative for that performs as good, if not better, and across every attribute. And being able to do that with globally compliant ingredients from day one, it's really gratifying. So we're proud of these ingredients. We encourage everybody to ask for samples, get them in formula, and follow up with the team with additional questions. So thank you.
Great stuff. Okay, well, that just remains for me to thank everyone for their participation, whether a speaker or a listener. If you've missed any of today's presentation, it will be sent out to people who registered, and it will also be available on the personal care website under the webinars tab very, very soon available. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Goodbye.
Appreciate it.